where there may be differences in spirit of cooperation as we work together for the good of our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. For the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley.
Here.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Here.
Commissioner Northrup.
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yep.
Commissioner Grice.
Here.
Commissioner Barrera.
Here.
Commissioner Marquetti. Here. And Commissioner Lee.
Here. Speaking of Commissioner Lee, you are next.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion on floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, public comment. This is on agenda items only. We have a full docket, so it's limited to 3 minutes per person. You are up.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Melissa McKay. After reviewing tonight's agenda packet, I have several questions I believe taxpayers deserve answers to before votes are taken. First, regarding Market 1. The packet references a possible 3-year renewal and lists broad categories like business engagement, industrial property development, government affairs, and government development. The presentation also cites roughly $2.3 million in grant activity tied to local communities. What measurable benchmarks will be required before renewal is approved? Will there be mandatory quarterly reporting tied to actual economic outcomes, job creation, business retention, and return to taxpayer investment? And how much of the claimed grant success can be independently verified as directly attributable to Market 1's work? Second, regarding the proposed IT virtualization environment upgrades costing up to $300,000, how many competitive bids were obtained? Will the public have access to vendor proposals before approval? And what cybersecurity, redundancy, or operational deficiencies specifically justify this level of spending? Third, regarding the EPA Brownfield grant budget, what specific properties or redevelopment projects are connected to this funding? What long-term obligations, matching requirements, or future liabilities could taxpayers ultimately inherit through these projects? Fourth, regarding the FOIA appeal and FOIA deposit notice appeal, the agenda packet acknowledges that the alleged deficiency in FOIA request was easily curable, yet the county still chose to reject the original request timeline anyway. At this point, litigation has already been filed over these FOIA handling practices. So my question is this: why is the county continuing to defend procedural gamemanship instead of addressing the underlying transparency concerns raised by the public? And what protections are being put in place to ensure FOIA technicalities, delays, and excessive deposit demands are not being used as barriers to public oversight? Because when citizens are forced into litigation simply to fight over access to public records, that should concern every taxpayer in this county. Finally, regarding the overall number of budget adjustments appearing throughout this agenda, how many of these adjustments reflect unplanned spending? And what financial controls are being implemented to reduce repeated mid-year corrections and unexpected expenditures? Transparency works best before votes are cast, not after decisions are finalized. Thank you.
You're welcome. For Ms. McKay and for the rest of people ask us questions during public comment, but we refrain from having back and forth. But to reply, to that during our meeting here and when all those issues come up, we should be able to answer that during our discussion time before we vote. All right, anybody else? Mr. Boyer.
I'm usually a little more prepared than I am today. I've been kind of busy. We had a death in one of our daughter-in-laws.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Roger.
I was involved with that issue yesterday as my role in VSU. But anyway, I'm here to speak about Market 1. I just want to make it plain. I'm not in favor of extending the correct contract as it now exists. including the length of time of the contract and the amount of money in it. I'm not convinced at all that their involvement of their staff and so forth has resulted in any significant economic impact on the county. I'd like to ask yourself, each of you, whether you have personally seen any substantial concrete results as a result of these past contract obligations. I've seen the reports, and I've even got one, and it's very easy to compile data, to embellish data and so forth, to make results look very, very real and very concrete. Many of you, most of you don't know, but for 15 years, I worked in West Virginia for the federal government, and I worked with a similar kind of program. And I worked with 2 economic development companies, or actually government agencies, and they did the same thing. They did a lot of good, there's no doubt about that, but they also embellished their results greatly. And I was never convinced that they really helped anywhere near as much as they did. So my final remark is I am not in favor of extending this contract as it now exists. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Sorry for your
I'm
family's
sorry,
loss,
I didn't
man.
identify myself. Roger Boyer, I'm Porter Township. You guys all know me, and I think everybody does.
I think everybody knows
does.
who you are, man. Sorry for the loss in your family, man. Anybody else? All right, close the floor for public comment. Presentations. We have the Small Business Administration Disaster Assistance.
Okay. Good evening, everyone,
Yes, sir.
and thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Brian Beard from the Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And last week on Monday, we declared what we call an SBA agency declaration to provide assistance to those with damage from the March 6 tornadoes. So SBA can offer anyone, homeowner or a renter or a business or a nonprofit, a low-interest loan with long-term to cover any damages that are not covered from insurance or another source. So that applies to Cass County, St. Joseph, and Branch counties, but we also offer the loans to the surrounding counties, which in this instance is not as essential because the damage was concentrated in those 3 counties. But so if anyone had damage to their home or personal property or business or nonprofit, they can apply for a loan from us. There's no cost to apply and no interest or payments for the first year. And with no prepayment penalties, if you got a loan and paid it back in less than a year, you wouldn't pay any interest at all. To give people time to get back on their feet again. Even if somebody's already used a credit card or taken a bank loan or borrowed money from another source to fix their home or business or to replace business inventory or equipment, they can still apply for a loan from us and replace that more expensive debt with a lower cost loan from the SBA. And the loans are directly from the federal government. The interest rate will not change. After that first year with no interest or payments, the interest rate for most homeowners and renters is as low as 2.875%. For businesses as low as 4%, and then 3.625% for nonprofits. So for example, a $25,000 loan for your home at 2.875% and 30 years would only be about $108 a month. So it's a very affordable way to keep people in their home. If someone's not sure if they need a loan or if they're still waiting for their insurance settlement, we encourage them to go ahead and apply now and decide later. It's no cost to apply, there's no cost to decline a loan offer. The insurance companies, as we know, can often take a very long time to give you a settlement offer, and it might not cover as much as you thought it would. Unless you have a full replacement value policy, if your roof is 10 years old and they say it's a 20-year roof, then they might only pay half the cost to replace that roof. So a lot of people end up with more costs than they thought they would. But we can cover whatever's not covered by insurance, including the deductible. So if you have a high deductible, you can get a loan from us to cover that deductible. If you're approved for a loan, you can also ask for an additional 20% of the total damage to be added onto that loan to build back stronger and prevent future damage. a stronger roof or storm shutters, or if you've had flooding issues, you know, a sump pump or retaining wall, things like that. The deadline is June 29th for the physical damage loans. And for small businesses and private nonprofits, we also have an economic injury loan. So even if a business didn't have any physical damage, if they had a drop in sales as a result of the disaster, the tornado on March 6th, they could get a working capital loan to provide them with, you know, monthly expenses until they get their business back up and running again. As I mentioned, you know, it's easy to decline a loan offer, and if you decline that loan offer, then you still have another 6 months to change your mind, to ask it for it to be reinstated. So if it turns out you didn't get as much from the insurance company, et cetera. So based on the amount of damage by our SBA inspector and the amount your ability to repay, you can borrow up to $500,000 for damage to your home, your primary residence, and up to $100,000 for homeowners and renters for personal property damage to the contents of the home, and that includes a car or an outbuilding, a shed or a fence, and then up to $2 million for businesses and nonprofits that would include physical damage, economic injury, or mitigation, you know, to build back stronger. There are several steps in the application process. So if somebody gets a letter or learns in the online portal saying that they are put into withdrawn status or declined, you want to look carefully and find out what other information might be needed. We might not have enough information to fully assess your ability to repay. We encourage people, if they're applying, to make sure to include the income and assets of all the adult family members in that home to better prove your ability to repay the loan. And, you know, make sure that if you did get put in withdrawn or declined, to make sure you upload any new information or send in new information before you click on the button to ask for reconsideration online, because that's important. But we also have people available to help people in person at the Cass District Library here in Cassopolis. We have people on hand Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 2. But the last day will be a week from today, the Thursday, the 14th. But we have another center in Three Rivers at the HG Real Estate at 52 North Main Street. That's going to be up until the 28th for an additional 2 weeks, so people can still get in-person assistance. But in addition to that, you know, you can always go online to lending.sba.gov to start your online application, or call us at 1-800-659-2955. That's 659-2955, or email us at disastercustomerservice@sba.gov. But we encourage people to, you know, try to get in-person assistance, get your questions answered. You may have also heard about the Michigan Economic Development Corporation has a block grant that they're administering, and they've done a contract with After the Storm, a nonprofit that's going to hire a couple case managers to help work with survivors to look for multiple sources of funding to help them. And we're going to train them also to help people get through the SBA application process, so they can help with that as well. So we're going to try to get to as many people as possible. A couple important things to mention at the end here, that our home loans are for your primary residence where you live at least half the year. So if you have a secondary home, vacation home on a lake, that's if you only use it yourself, it's not eligible. But if it's a rental property, if you're renting it out, earning rental income even for part of the year, and paying taxes on that rental income just like a business, you could get a business loan at 4% to cover the damage to that rental property. So we want to make sure people are aware of that, and also, especially true with the tornadoes that can do such destruction, that if a home has enough uninsured damage that's at least half of the value of the home, or at least 40% of the value of the entire property and home combined, if the uninsured damage reaches that threshold, then it might be possible to combine part of your existing mortgage into the new loan. So if you get approved for a $50,000 loan and you have $50,000 left in your mortgage, you may be able, it's a case-by-case basis, but you might be able to get that combined into the new loan at that lower interest rate, with no payments or interest for 1 year. So that gives people a chance to get back on their feet and, make those payments more reasonable to keep them in their home. So does anybody have any questions?
Do we have any questions for Mr. Beard?
No, I did have some questions.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, sorry. I did have some questions, but then you followed up and answered every one of them. And so I guess I'd like to thank you because it looks like you've come up here all the way from Atlanta, Georgia.
Our home office for the east half of the U.S. is in Atlanta. My home is actually in Maryland, just north of Washington, D.C.
It's still a long way.
Well, thank
Still,
you.
yeah.
It's still a long way, is right. Yeah, thank you.
Well, especially that last flight from Detroit, because that was last Monday night with the storm coming in, and
Right,
that was a little bumpy.
right. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And Jennifer, be in touch. Thank you very much.
Mr. Pete?
Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for having us. Sounds like this thing's on, but I have the kind of voice that I don't think I would need it. Do I just do this? Can you get my presentation up? Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I'm happy to start without it anyhow. So thank you. I know some of you I've had the opportunity to chat with. Some of you I disturbed when you were taking a shower. Sorry about that, Jim. So it's been, what we're going to show today is exact as I can do the same presentation that we did for the EDC on March 25th. So also in front of all of you, I include the packet that we had handed out before. The only difference from what the EDC saw is there are a few letters of support in the back of it as well. So if you care to look at those, and I might reference them later, but thank you all. So for those that aren't sure, what is Market One? We are the economic developer for both Van Buren and Cass County. We have contracts with both of them. We work with multiple investors within those areas. And the reason why Market One is the two counties together make a cute little one. So that's kind of on the screen there. So you're probably wondering, who am I, or you don't know much about me. I grew up on a cherry farm in Paw Paw, Michigan. And my dad was Randall Pete. My mom was Madeline Pete. If either of you know any of them, I know some of you do. I also have a wife and 3 kids. They're pictured. My career before I got into economic development was in federal sales, and so I supported primarily Air Force medical groups around the world. So that was kind of my first job, was working with the DoD a little bit. And then I'm also a rugby player, which is a big team sport. If there's any rugby players around here, there's like 20 of us around ever anywhere. But it's a team sport, just like economic development.
Hold on, Dan.
Yeah.
Jody, we don't have the presentation on our picture, on our TVs up here. On the small screen? Yes, ma'am. What does it show down here? It shows the YouTube feed. The YouTube feed. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Dan.
This is docking my time.
No, it's not.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I timed myself earlier
It's
so I could do it
triple.
in time. Yeah. So I'm also an entrepreneur. So my wife and I own a hard cider manufacturing business that we make on the family farm. And then we also own a 16-lane bowling center in Stevensville, Michigan called the Pete Cider Social.
Look at your
And
hair on that.
I know, I got
that-
Justin Bieber hair there.
How'd you keep that hair so pretty playing rugby?
Well, the rest of me's muddy. I just kept my head out of it. And then I'm also a 2-time Michigan State graduate, so I loved hearing from
Nice.
the extension is going to be here later too. And so I got my undergrad and my MBA from Michigan State. So that's a little bit about my background. You'll also have dealt with or seen our team around. I hope that, I know some of you maybe felt like you haven't seen enough of them. I hope that you do going forward, or those of you that have had the opportunity and the chance. And these are the 4 people who really make all the good stuff happen in Cass County. And I know many of you have seen many of them, and 2 of them are here today. So you can guys give a wave if you like. There they are. So what's in the contract? This presentation was really sort of going over the renewal and what was in it. So I broke out the presentation to match the contract, which I believe is in your packet, not the one I gave you, but the one you already have. So it's broken into scope of work, considerations, and the option to renew. So we'll walk through each of those. So as far as scope of work with business engagement, One of the best and biggest ones that we worked on to highlight, and actually, Roger, I'm with you, that it is very easy for many economic developers to use the generally accepted economic impact numbers. And so while I believe those to be true, I 100% understand how you can look at them and be doubtful. So what we also tried to highlight is more the brick and mortar of what are hard dollars that came back to the community, and that's some of the grants. That said, it's not to discredit this work. It is really important and very valuable. And there are a number of pipeline projects. And one of the things that I don't really love about economic development is you have to keep things a little bit under wraps until the projects are announced. So they do get kind of goofy, different little project names until they really pop. And so that's kind of how you'll see until it becomes something like what we did with Modern Buggy. So that little handout that's on the screen, you do physically have in front of you in this packet that I handed out as well.
Yeah, we got it on our TVs now.
And then finally, the other part of scope of work would be grant development. And this is probably my favorite slide. And I would argue that we had a very heavy hand. There were certainly many other types of grants that came into Cass County during the last 3 years while we've been working with you all under this contract. And some of those, if we didn't have a solid hand in, we didn't throw them on the list. So the RAP 2.0 grant that came to both Van Buren and Cass, you can see the locations that it went to and the dollar amounts associated. I do believe I've addressed it with many people already, but I would highlight that there was a third Cass County project as part of that that did not look like it was going to meet the time frame that the grant needed, and the team did have to reallocate those to a project in Van Buren County. Having said that, with the footnote, still 63% of the dollars associated with that grant came to Cass County, so still the lion's share came here. The Rural Readiness Grant is actually referenced in Edwardsburg letter of support to us, so you'll see that in there. And that was, I believe, for them to be able to hire a grant writer so they could kind of do their own capacity building. We also have the Michigan State Housing Development Authority Community Development Block Grant. That's what that acronym stands for. And those are some of those other projects that, again, we worked with helping attract to the region. So if you sum all those up, it's nearly $2.3 million of grant dollars. These aren't economic impact dollars like on the last slide that are a function of how many dollars per job it's worth to the area. These are actual grant dollars coming back to the community. We also had on there industrial property development. So we've been working a lot with the MEC Smart Park. We've got the bronze status acquired, which is essentially a rating that you get to say how ready is this site. I know that Katie's working on getting them to the silver status in the works. We also have government affairs that we do, and so some might be, I think it's called SOAR, which is the Strategic Outreach and Attraction Reserve. There's some details what we talked about there. But really the output of good governmental affairs is awareness of and good capture on grants that are available from those grant-giving bodies. So that's kind of, what does a good version of that look like? It's successful capture on those grants. We also have our board representation, which was part of one of the considerations in the contract. And so we have Commissioner Grice, Commissioner Langley, we have Chad Ritchie, who works for MEC, and he is our board chair. So the top person on our board is a Cass County person. Nate Carpenter served on our board. He just resigned actually in the last couple weeks and identified that, hey, I don't have the time to devote to this to give it the attention it deserves. So we are going to be actively looking to fill that spot. So if you have a good private industry person you think would represent Market One well, we're all ears. Right, guys? Yeah. And then we have from the education sector, also Brent Brewer, who is from SMC on the board. And the intent of any good economic development firm is to be a public-private partnership and to have representation from different groups. So we tried to accomplish that with who we got from Cass County as well. One of the other considerations was to go through a proper rebranding. So I believe we had 1 year to do that. We got it done a few months early, and that's where we went from being Market Van Buren. And again, Market One started as some service delivery in Van Buren and kind of grew into working in multiple counties. And to better accomplish our true goal and our true mission, we rebranded to match and be able to highlight Cass County a lot better. For the renewal status, this is probably not news to any of you around the table. We do need to know ideally by June. We do have a 3-year intent on that. If you look at even those CDBG projects alone, they take a while to get. They take 2 years for delivery of it, and then there'll be some follow-ups afterwards. So even a lot of economic development projects, even though it seems outrageously long to me as an entrepreneur, 3 years is, not an unreasonable timeline. And the county impact, if not renewed. I was asked to speak on that too. We are not going to pack up our bag and go home if we don't get it. We're not going to not execute on the grants we've done. We're not going to do anything petty or nefarious or whatever. We will still serve and work with the people of the county. We even have other municipalities and private industry investors that, we'll continue to support. And they don't need to be an investor for us to support them either. Our role is to prove that we're worth it if they reach out to us. That said, if we're not renewed, it would be a detrimental factor. This is a partnership between, us and the county, and it shows good cohesion when we go to attract those grants, when we go to work with other partners that we can say, and we have the county's backing, and this kind of gives us a solid basis from which to work. So it would limit our ability to assist, but do I think we're going to do anything rude or uncool? We're not. We're cool. I'm sure many of you know we went through a recent leadership change. I am the new guy. As far as anticipated direction, I know there's been some commentary and comments of, hey, I heard Market One spinning off, they're doing this, they're doing that. Our board wisely, we started off as just a one-person band or even just a one service band. We were doing the revolving loan fund paperwork for Van Buren County. That's really how far back it goes. That was probably 10 years. And so as it's grown and developed over time, the board wisely said, hey, this is a good moment in time to review, is our current structure the thing that we want? Do we view any outcomes of that to result in less service delivery in Cass County? No, we don't. It's more of a back end making sure that we are set up the best we possibly can to serve the most people in our 2 counties. And I kind of touched on, future support and what we see and what that might look like. I do hope that you'll see more of me. I hope that you'll see more of my staff. I know that they are engaged and already working with a number of you. But, I hope that in a year's time, Roger can come up here and say, you know what, those guys are pretty cool. So that is one hope for mine. Look, I'm right on time. All right, so the bottom line for this is if you look at just the grants alone and you completely rule out all the other value-added work of the more traditional economic development, you look at our community development arena, for every dollar that the county has invested over the last 3 years, more than $5.50 have come back in the form of grants. So to me, the main way that the county can drive its own revenue and support its own growth is through the tax base. And what better way to show that we're making good investments that drive money back into our tax base than through an endeavor like this. And it was a little more than 5.50, but we don't mint pennies in the United States anymore, so I left those off of there. But that's pretty much what I presented to the EDC. So if you all have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions for Mr. P? No? All right, man, thank you.
All right, cheers, guys.
I collect the pennies.
Make them into a ring.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Go green. You are next. I'm a Michigan fan, but don't hold that against me. It's better than, we'll just say the team from over there.
Well, good evening, everyone. So good to see you again. The last time I saw you was in September, so Happy New Year. I hope you're all doing well. Mm-hmm. My name is Kai Gritter, and I am serving as the Interim District Director for MSU Extension, and I cover 3 counties now, Cass County, Berrien, and Van Buren, in addition to my 4 counties in West Michigan. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present our 2025 Extension Annual Report. Thank you also for your continued support and your investment in MSU Extension programs. Your funding makes it possible for us to deliver the impactful and research-based programs right here in Cass County. We have dedicated staff across our 4 institutes and within the region who provide a wide variety of programs to Cass County residents. Some are actually here today. We have Hillary Hunt, who is our 4-H program coordinator, Kathy Fisher, her supervisor, and John Laporte, all of whom will be sharing a little bit later. In 2025 alone, I just want to highlight that Extension reached over 1,400 Cass County adults, and those individuals participated in over 350 MSU Extension programs. About 72 of those programs were hosted right here in Cass County, and folks were able to log in to some of our virtual programs. About 281 programs were accessed statewide, either virtually or in person in neighboring counties. Our local 4-H program, that's coordinated by Hillary, enrolled 616 youth, and this has been in great partnership with our 4-H volunteers. We have 183 4-H volunteers, which is amazing, and it's an increase from the previous year. We were also responsive to community questions through our Ask Extension service. That's an online service where folks can send pictures in or ask questions about anything. We cover it all. And we provided dozens of client consultations during the year, 169 to be exact. I'll now share a bit about how our program staff served Cass County specifically, and I'll start with our health and nutrition program. So if we could go to page 2, I will share a bit about the work the community nutrition instructor did. Oh, that's me? Okay. Oh, there it is. It was out of sight. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. You probably recognize Nora there.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Well, she was able to facilitate 39 nutrition programs, reaching over 500 residents in Cass County. This was done in partnership with multiple local organizations, including schools, faith-based groups, food banks, and tribal communities. I want to share a story. At Sister Lakes Elementary, a student connected a lesson on vitamin C to their own health. They decided to consume oranges when they were feeling unwell in a bid to help them heal. This is a small story, but it really reflects a larger outcome. Residents, even our young people, are making informed, healthier decisions based on the research-based education they receive. Now, despite that and many, many other success stories, unfortunately, our SNAP-Ed program, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, lost its funding last year. This happened nationwide, and it impacted us quite personally. A total of 7 staff in our District 13, including Nora Lee, were affected by this, and as of 9:30, September 30th, they were laid off from MSU Extension. We just want to thank Nora for her decades, literally, of service and impact in Cass County. Now, all exiting staff did not want to leave their partners hanging, so they sent them information about the other health programs that we still have existing through MSU Extension. So Nora sent multiple emails CCing me to about a dozen of her contacts, letting them know a lot of the items you see on the page right now. We have a health work team that offers a lot of chronic pain and chronic disease management and prevention programs, stress management, falls prevention, a lot of healthy aging type programs. We also have a food safety work team that does a lot of ServSafe and a lot of food safety programs. So we do continue to provide helpful programs to Cass County residents. At this point, I'm going to invite Hillary and Kathy to come up and share a bit about their work with 4-H and the youth program.
Hi, it's nice to see you today. Thank you for the opportunity to share a little about the 4-H experiences in 2025. We've worked to expand opportunities through 2 new 4-H spin clubs, which are short-term special interest programs. One focused on crochet and the other on cat showmanship. I had the opportunity to lead the Get Hooked on Crochet spin club, and it was a truly meaningful experience. Watching youth learn a new skill together, build confidence, and connect with one another reminded me of a traditional quilting circle, filled with conversation, laughter, and support. These conversations mattered. Youth shared what they wanted to learn next, and that feedback directly led to the planning of the 4-H Still Exhibit Project Day, which was held this past month. While many clubs teach project skills within their own groups, this event created a space for youth from across the county to come together, learn from different leaders, and explore new project areas. It strengthened connections not only between youth, but among volunteers as well. Another highlight of 2025 was bringing embryology program to the Cassopolis middle and high school classrooms. Over several weeks, I worked with students to teach chick development, genetics, and animal care. Students incubated eggs in their classrooms and were able to witness the hatching process firsthand, an exciting and memorable learning experience. Afterward, families had the opportunity to adopt the chicks, extending the learning beyond the classroom into the home. Community partnerships were also a key part of our work this year. I partnered with the Cass District Library for several events, including Summer Reading Craft Day, Kids Day at the Cass County Fair, a Halloween trick-or-treating event, and a Winter Break Boredom Buster Craft and STEM Day, which featured 6 different hands-on activities. These events allowed us to engage youth in fun educational experiences while also introducing new families to 4-H. Additionally, I began working with the Cass County Tractor Pullers Association to plan a farm safety course for youth to be held in the future. Across all these efforts, what stands out most is that 4-H is much more than any one project or activity. It's about creating opportunities for youth to learn by doing, build relationships, and develop skills that will carry them into adulthood. Whether youth are learning to crochet, hatching chicks in a classroom, participating in community events, or exhibiting at the Cass County Fair, they are building confidence, communication skills, and sense of belonging. These are the experiences that shape engaged, capable young people who will contribute to our community's future. Thank you for your continued support of the 4-H program and youth in Cass County.
I do love bringing educators and program coordinators to share the impact that they're doing on the ground. So thank you once again, Hillary, for that. Next, I would like to share a bit about our community food and environment work. Our community food and environment staff helped by supporting local government, community development, and civic engagement. I know a lot of you are familiar with Tyler Oxt. He has done quite a few programs right here in Cass County. He delivered governing essential training right here in the building in Cassopolis and also to the village of Mistrelis. He also provided a Board of Commissioner workshop on budgeting and governance. He also expanded access to planning and zoning education tools. These efforts directly strengthen transparent governance, informed decision-making, and citizen participation in local processes. Feedback from participants have been quite effusive. I just chose a couple. And one of which is pretty much unofficial, saying they'll apply what they learned in order to improve bylaws and governance practices. So Extension really helps ensure strong local leadership and informed communities, which are essential for every county to have long-term success. Coming to a close, our Agriculture and Agribusiness Institute. Agriculture remains a key economic driver right here in Cass County. And our Agriculture and Agribusiness Institute supports that through research-based education and technical assistance. Last year, 79 individuals participated in our programs. Topics ranged from animal agriculture to farm business management to field crops. About 11 education sessions were delivered by 8 educators. Now you might wonder, who are these educators? They're not housed in Cass County, but they are housed throughout the region. They're housed throughout the district. We have a swine educator, a field crops agronomy educator, irrigation educators, regenerative ag educators, soybean, dairy, farm business management. All of them come and provide programs to Cass County residents as well. And in addition to that, they provided 169 client consultations, as I mentioned earlier. So farmers received crop, pest, and irrigation guidance tailored to their local conditions. Livestock producers improved their animal care and food safety practices through certification programs. Beth Ferry is our swine educator. She actually facilitated a PQA Plus certification, which ensures that pig farms are compliant and that the food that we eat is actually healthy. In addition, Spanish language trainings allowed increased access for agriculture workers in dairy farms. So it's just really wonderful to see all the great work that's being done. Staff also contributed to statewide efforts like the Beginning Farmer Resource Guide, and this helps support the next generation of producers. So I'm quickly gonna ask John Laporte to come and share a bit about the guide that he was very instrumental in creating.
Good evening, everyone. I know most everyone here in the room being from Cass County. And I think actually I talked to all of you a little bit about this last year, so I'm happy to share that it's been published. It's actually found the finish line, and we've actually got it published this past December. For a bit of a refresher, this was a resource guide, a project that came to us from USDA. They reached out to MSU Extension and said, we want to partner with you to develop essentially a roadmap for beginning farmers that are looking really from a production standpoint. How do I get into this business of agriculture? What are the things I need to know? What are the things I'm going to run into, the challenges, and how to work through those? And so we brought together a number of extension folks throughout really the state. We worked with USDA. We actually had some industry partners that helped us in terms of some of the content. For example, there's a chapter in this resource guide on land access, so people looking to buy or rent land. The group, My Farm Link, that works with people to connect landowners and land seekers, helped to review some of that content. We also had a lot of support from Greenstone Farm Credit Services, not only to review content, but they actually helped provide the funding we needed to get the document through the actual design phase. And so they were very instrumental on many phases of this project. The document was published. It's accessible now for free as the packet outlines at our Beginning Farmer website. It is a 600-page document, so it has got a lot of content in. Brings up information of things to consider, common questions that have been brought up, and what those answers to those questions are. Also access to resources around education, including workshops, educational meetings that people can attend to, and then also contacts within the industry that can serve as either additional resources or possibly mentors. And I can attest, having been the lead for MSU Extension on this project and a co-author in some of the chapters, that there are quite a few common questions that were asked of Cass County residents, Cass County farmers, that made its way into that guide, because they were questions that I know that I've helped answer with people or I've had brought to me. The guide is actually accessible not only in the complete version, but you can also download the individual chapters. So we made it really accessible for people that if they just want to jump to a certain section they're interested in, they don't have to try to download this whole huge file at the same time. Since we launched, I'm happy to share that the complete guide has been downloaded over 600 times, and the individual chapters have been accessed about 600 times as well in totality. So we're getting a lot of people accessing the document. We've also heard back from beginning farmers, either directly through MSU Extension or through USDA, that people are finding this resource, they're finding it helpful, and that's really encouraging. And we're planning to keep this thing up and going. It's a living document. We'll continue to update as time goes on to make sure it's still providing the most up-to-date information for beginning farmers.
Have you had any, do you have any data on anybody that has started from square one? Because I don't know anybody that, if you're not born into being a farmer, it's almost impossible to combines, hay machines, because I tried to buy all the hay equipment to do my own hay, and it was almost impossible.
It depends a lot on the type of agriculture you're going into. If you're going into like field crops or even dairy, for example, are good examples. A lot of capital investment. So
a lot.
In addition to the production information we include in the guide, we actually talk about financing, marketing, some of those other things people are going to need to kind of get started. For beginning farmers, what we tend to find is that the easy entry points are smaller livestock. So poultry is a really popular one for beginning farmers. Fruits and vegetables tend to be easy to start with because they can grow a lot of those there at their own home. It's not as capital intensive. But as you start to expand some of those areas, it does become a challenge.
Yeah, over time. Because I've got a hobby farm for the last 13 years, and it's taken 13 years to get to where I'm at now. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and so it depends on the type of agriculture, but there is, we actually do track, USDA does track some of that to where are most of the beginning farmers
I get their
located.
letters. I get the USD letters.
Yeah, you probably get the surveys too.
Oh my God.
Good question. Any other questions on the resource guide?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
In closing, we just want to once again thank you for your support. Thank you for allowing us to be able to bring the resources of MSU Extension and other research-based materials to Cass County residents. We thank you for your continued partnership and look forward to many more years.
Yes,
I will
ma'am.
accept any questions.
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Chair, I don't have a question, but two things. I'm so happy that you brought up Nora Lee because
Yeah.
we miss her every day. And Tyler he serves on our planning commission, and he created a form that we use now every meeting. So he has been a great asset, so.
Wonderful.
And
I'll
I
be sure to
enjoy
share.
I do a couple things online with MSUE, so thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
If you all could find some extra fertilizer and urea, that would be awesome.
Duly noted.
You got any laying around, let me know, Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right. Letter H, recognitions. Number 1, R 18-2026. It's a resolution to recognize National Law Enforcement Week and National Peace Officer Day.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. We're going to have Roseanne read it for our discussion, if you could, please.
Yes, I'd be happy to. This is a resolution by the Board of Commissioners. Resolution to recognize National Law Enforcement Week and National Peace Officer Day. Whereas the Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Cass County Sheriff's Office. And whereas National Police Week will be observed May 11th through May 16th, 2026, to commemorate law enforcement officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in so doing have established themselves as enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duties, including one member of the Cass County Sheriff's Office. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas 363 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 109 officers killed in 2025 and 254 officers killed in previous years. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags shall be flown at half-staff. And whereas the Cass County Sheriff's Office will hold a memorial on May 13th at 12 p.m. in memory of Deputy Shane Britton. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Cass County Board of Commissioners hereby designates and proclaims the week of May 11th, 2026 as National Police Week and publicly salutes the service of all law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Be it further resolved to designate and proclaim May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty, and recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. This week of April 11th through 17th is Animal Care and Control Officer Appreciation Week.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Yes.
Commissioner Langley,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera.
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup.
Yes.
And Commissioner Grice.
Yes.
All right, resolution passes. Sheriff, are you going to take that? Are you going to take that certificate, or, okay. Could you be so kind as a,
Yeah, it has to sign it, but there's also.
I still have to sign it. I'm sorry, but we can get a picture of.
Yeah, let's get a picture.
Yeah,
But,
before you sit down. We appreciate you, Sheriff. All right. Next one, number 2, R19, 2026, is similar.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution to recognize National Correction Officer Week.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move the resolution to recognize National Correctional Officer Week.
Motion on the floor and support. For discussion, Ms. Marquetti, could you read it for us?
Yes, thank you. Cass County, Michigan, resolution by the Board of Commissioners, a resolution to recognize National Correctional Officer Week in Cass County. Whereas, correctional officers are trained law enforcement professionals dedicated to maintaining safe correctional facilities and ensuring public safety. Whereas, correctional facilities across the U.S., both civilian and military, public and private, are run by highly qualified and experienced individuals with a deep understanding of the challenges within the profession. Whereas, correctional officers and employees are responsible for the custody, care, and rehabilitation of thousands of offenders every year, as well as the maintenance of safe and secure facilities. Whereas, correctional officers and employees teach, train, mentor, counsel, and treat thousands of offenders. Whereas, correctional officers and employees provide offenders with direction, hope, and a new focus while assisting with reentry and life outside corrections. And whereas, correctional officers and employees rise to meet any challenge and serve the honorable profession nobly and admirably. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Cass County Board of Commissioners that correctional officers and employees, especially our exemplary staff at the Cass County Jail, deserve the recognition for their service and should be commended by leaders in the profession, and the public and our elected officials for the tremendous job they do and exceptional performance of duties under the most difficult of circumstances. Be it further resolved that the Cass County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the week of May 3 through 9, 2026 as National Correctional Officers Week in Cass County, and call upon the people of Cass County to express their gratitude and appreciation for the professionalism, courage, dedication, and valuable contributions made to public safety by Cass County Correctional Officers, adopted the 7th day of May, 2026.
All right. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Langley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera?
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Resolution passes. We'll probably do the same thing with that one. And yeah, Sheriff, I'll sign both of them after our meeting. Yeah, he knows where I live. Sheriff just shows up at my door, I'm gonna take off running through the field on purpose. Don't be coming there unannounced. All right. We have a public hearing. It's M61 2026. We need a motion to open the public hearing regarding proposed 911 service district.
Mr. Chair, I move to open it.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The floor is now open for the public hearing.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I move to close the public hearing regarding proposed 911 service district.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the floor is closed. Vice Chair Lawrence.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve M-63-2026 and M-64-2026 with a one-time roll call vote.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera?
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
and Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
All right. Commissioner reports. District 1.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Lawrence and I, we're switching positions here. If that's okay with you.
I don't, what, he's going to go first?
He's going to go first.
All right, that's no problem.
Mr. Chair, what I have today from my district, after our April 16th meeting, I was contacted by a constituent asking for a meeting. I agreed to meet with him. These are the concerns that was brought up. The first concern is the hate towards Victor Fitz and the prosecutors. I know right now, as I sit here, you're all saying there's no hate. Well, I hate to tell you this, it's out in the public. It's right here in the newspaper. I was asked about it. You're all saying that that's not true, but I have proof. Because out of respect for the administrator, I told Vic that we should meet with the administrator on an issue so she is involved. Vic agreed. From our administrator, what happened next was, it was just beyond belief for me. I was late to the meeting. I walked into a battle. It was totally different than the subject we met for. When the issue we were there to meet on was brought up, it was immediately no. Then the battle was on about everything in the past, and the hate was spewed out from our administrator. During this meeting, which was called by 2 commissioners, the administrator declared rapidly that this meeting is over. She disregarded her bosses, and the meeting was not over. She says, I am not going to talk about this, said the administrator. The administrator also, I want to say right now, that because of what I was trying to do in this particular instant, the administrator owes me an apology. I have received an apology from another hate-filled employee. And I want the administrator also to give an apology to the prosecutor's office. The constituent that I met with was not at the meeting, but saw that hate throughout our county and at our meetings. Well, people, I hate to tell you this, but the prosecutor's office is state mandated. We're responsible to maintain that office of prosecutors. We have failed. I do not believe that any of you know the definition of respect. I'm going to give it to you. Respect is the admiration, politeness, consideration shown towards people, rules, or property. It involves valuing someone's worth, feelings, and views. Often stemming from admiration of their qualities. It is also defined as a formal, attentive regard. Also was brought up the office of prosecutor. I was reminded, meeting with this constituent, that the office of the prosecutor is state mandated. That is, it is our responsibility to maintain that office. It is not the state mandate to maintain a class comp study. Do you all understand this? Evidently not. I have dealt with this since my first board meeting 5 years ago. This has been going on for 5 years. It needs to stop. We need to get behind our prosecutors with 100% support. Or would you rather just turn the bad people back out on the street? or have the state take us over, you have those three choices. But I know right now, as I sit here, that your choice is the class comp study.
Excuse me, Mr. Lawrence. I'd like to apologize, but I do believe that this is supposed to be focused on our districts, specifically the information with those. The comments and announcements section might be better for this.
This is for the district. I've met with a constituent in my district.
Okay. I would just like to, I'm not
Okay.
trying to cut you off.
All
I
right.
just
Thank you, I
think that that would
appreciate
be
that
better
very
there.
much. And this come from the constituent as well. People in the public know all this. You people don't understand that. We've been trying to get a lawyer for a year. Have we got one? Have we hired one? We also have had 2 prosecutors quit on us. Somebody goes, well, that wasn't because of this or because of that. It was because of our disrespect and our hate for Victor Fitz in the prosecutor's office. Right now, I sit here and I can tell you right now, as I sit here, the hate is rising in some of your hearts right now. Your hate for me. But I'm here because I wanted to make Cass County a good county. Victor wants to do the same thing, the right thing for the county too. But what about you? Is hate the right thing for the county? The class cap study was brought up too at our meeting that I met with this man. Everything that is brought up is in the public eye right now. Dwajak newspaper. First thing that was brought up was the obsession of this class comp study. My goodness, you can't get it out of your heads. He told me this class comp study was running the county. I agree. We can't do anything without it. The class comp study has been approved by the board, implemented. We paid $60,000 for it. We implemented the wage increases. It's done. It's history. It's dead. Let it go. It's caused us to lose 2 prosecutors. And there's employees that have left too. Well, you should be happy now. You should be happy because the class comp says it's okay to lose prosecutors. We'll get more within a week or 2. I doubt it. With the way we've treated our prosecutors, the hate and disrespect. Wake up! We never gave the prosecutors not one solemn thing that they needed to keep Jason and Mary. And my final point here is even the worst yet that was talked about. It's in the public eye. This last one that we talked about is a black eye for this board. Right now, there's a consideration out there recalling commissioners.
It's too late for that.
Could be, but there is a consideration for that.
No.
But when you say that, when I hear that, That's a black eye. Wake up, people. Do you get it? I know. Get what? Think about it, will you? Because of the administrator's decision-making right now, I'm going to add to our next board meeting, to the agenda, a motion to limit the administrator's authority. She can't make decisions without hate and without respect. She don't need to make them. I'm also going to add a motion to complete the class comp study, to complete it and make it dead, to keep this from ruling the county. And I say right now, this is the last thing I'm going to say, I want the Board of Commissioners to take back our county and stop this nonsense. Thank you.
All right, District 1.
Okay, well, I'm going to save part of mine for the comments, but the first thing I want to do, last, I think it was the 15th or whenever we had our last meeting, the 16th, I had mentioned that somebody had sent me a text talking about somebody, and I guess it really offended him, and I really apologize for that. And I'm not going to mention their name because I didn't mention it in the first meeting. But the worst part about it is we lost friendship over it. And that hurts. And for that, I'm truly sorry. And next, I'd just like to do a shout out for the Sheriff's Department for yesterday, how they handled that affair that was going on, along with the with the victim service unit. What happened was terrible. But, believe it or not, God puts who he wants to serve. And for the Victim Service Unit yesterday, it was Pastor Randy Peterson, Roger Boyer, and Kim Robinson. That was Kim's third or fourth time out. And she did a fantastic job, and y'all thank her for it. And that's it for now.
All right. District 3. District 4, I'm going to start an ad hoc committee, but I'll send that out in the email to the other commissioners. District 5.
The only thing I want to report, just remind everybody, May is the National Mental Health Awareness Month, so just be aware of that.
All right. District 6.
Yeah, MDOT's doing some work in Milton Township. I'm sure some of you already seen it on US 12. The US 12 and BB intersection project is already underway. It's impacting traffic. What we're seeing is a dedicated left turn to improve safety and traffic flow long term. Residents should expect continued single lane closures with flagging operations while construction's in progress. In addition, broader maintenance work along US 12 and surrounding routes will continue throughout the construction season into the fall. While there might be short-term delays, these improvements are important for safety and preserving the roadway. Thank you.
They're not making another one of them Michigan turns, are they, like they got in Niles?
I think they are doing that on 12 and
really?
Gumwood. They have the light now.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would keep it, but I think they're gonna go ahead and put a roundabout there.
Well, the roundabouts are good. I'm used to those from Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, District 7.
Well, before I give my actual report, I would like to let you all, the rest of you know, I'm happy that you brought that up, Sam, about the work on Route 12, because that is going to be all summer long, and it goes from where they start there in Milton Township, it goes all the way to St. Joe County. So I guess my advice is stay away from Route 12 if you can. Anyway, here's my report. Since Commissioner Grice and I attended the MAC Legislative Conference last week, my report is a brief review of the conference, and it is brief. At past events, there were individual sessions where we moved from room to room. The sessions at the MAC conference were all they were called pods, and they were all in the main room, and everybody heard every session, which was efficient. And sometimes when you go to those conferences, there's a session, 2 sessions going on at the same time, and you could only choose one, and you might have wanted to see the other one as well. So I just have a short synopsis. One of the first ones was digital accessibility, and that's about the new ADA Title II requirements. And from what I learned, if we, the commissioners, if we author any public documents, we have to make sure that those documents comply. And is Ambrosia still? Yes. And that is true, isn't it, Ambrosia? Yes. So we're going to have to, I don't know how many public documents I do, but regardless, that's something we need to be cognizant of. And then dangers in your landfill, that was an explanation of the materials management in Grand Rapids. And that city has a real handle on materials management. They have a recycling center, a landfill, a transfer station, and they have a large facility that changes waste into energy. And this is something that really surprised me about that, because hopefully you all know that this recycling, trying not to use landfills so much, transfer stations, everything, it's coming. At any rate, this is something I found interesting about Grand Rapids. Less than a quarter of the residents use the program. The other thing we had, strengthening public safety through smarter response to behavioral health crisis. The Monroe County Sheriff and a professor, she was a doctor from Wayne State University, they worked together, and we heard that people with mental health problems, which is something we have said in our law enforcement all along, do not belong in jail, but often when there's a crisis, law enforcement is called. And that was, we've heard that many times here in Cass County. Both presenters were much in favor of mobile crisis units. Other pods that we saw were property tax, opioid settlement reporting, energy policy, and there was a legislative roundtable with 2 state senators and 2 members of the House. And that's all my report.
Thank you. District 8.
Hey, okay. So something that I found that was really pertinent is Calvin Township is looking into doing some rezoning. They are having some issues with, so they have people that want to be able to cut off smaller sections of acreage in order to be able to help family members, to help with the housing issues that we're having. I find what they're doing, I agree. I think it's a very good idea, and it'll be very helpful to the people within their township. So that was kind of a big thing that was brought up, and I thought it was a good thing to share with the board.
Thank you, sir. The administrator's report's in the packet. She sent out a very good update like we get every month. Does anybody have any questions for administrator? All right, do you have anything that you want to add to it? All right. I'm going to go back on my word to the clerk, and we're going to have the prosecutor go up first if he has anything to say.
Good evening. Several weeks ago, I addressed the impending loss of Jason Ronning on May 17th of this month. As you know, Chief Assistant Mary Foster has now also left the employ of the Cass County Prosecutor's Office. Mary Foster had been an invaluable member of the Cass County Prosecutor's Office for the past 4 years. She ranks as one of the finest and most highly skilled lawyers to have ever worked in Cass County. 4 years ago, Cass County was extremely fortunate to have secured Mary Foster, one of the most experienced litigators in the Midwest, to join our prosecution team. While serving for over 20 years in Cook County, one of the largest prosecutor's offices in the nation, Mrs. Foster was recognized as a statewide expert in the handling of complex sexual assault, domestic violence, and murder cases. While in Chicago, she litigated hundreds of cases, including over 50 complex felony jury trials. In addition to supervising a team of over 40 assistant prosecutors tasked with evaluating Chicago's most complicated felony cases, Mrs. Foster was also routinely assigned to personally handle many of the highest profile, intricate, and serious litigation matters in the state of Illinois. For Cass County to have secured the service of such an overtly talented and effective lawyer proved to be extremely fortunate. Upon arrival in Cass County in 2022, Mrs. Foster immediately displayed to the criminal justice community her work ethic and prosecution expertise. She helped manage and sustain one of the most highly effective prosecution teams in the state of Michigan. Foster also quickly became known for her ability to maintain a strong spirit of cooperation in the prosecutor's office and beyond. She worked effectively and professionally with law enforcement, the courts, and the defense bar throughout her tenure in Cass County. In particular, immediately upon arriving in Cass County, her leadership and organizational efforts were instrumental in quickly and methodically eliminating a serious COVID felony backlog of cases without compromising the integrity of those serious criminal matters. Mary Foster's many successful efforts included establishing a strong and positive working relationship with Cass County's law enforcement leadership, as well as the line officers, deputies, and state troopers. She regularly provided expert assistance regarding investigation and prosecution of assailants, drug dealers, child molesters, property crime offenders, robbers, and murderers. In addition to expertly handling virtually every type of criminal case imaginable, Chief Assistant Foster handled most of the sex crimes in Cass County. She personally secured the conviction and lengthy imprisonment of many such offenders, including serial rapists and child molesters. She contributed convincingly to the safety of her community. Mary Foster was precisely the type of lawyer the citizens of Cass County desire when it comes to their safety and the safety of their children. And she is one of several outstanding lawyers I painstakingly searched for and brought to Cass County over the past several years, despite an ongoing national attorney shortage. It was extremely difficult and took many, many months. But my desire has always been to provide the citizens of Cass County with a strong and superior prosecutor's office, not a mediocre prosecutor's office or an average prosecutor's office or a mere training ground, but an office that has the passion, experience, and a superior ability to protect the public from serious criminal offenders. Mary Foster was a major part of this and will be sorely missed. I would add, in closing, that like Jason Ronning, Mary Foster had a real interest in remaining in Cass County for the balance of her career. But we did not receive any type of solution from the commissioners or the administrator regarding the potential departure of Jason and another assistant. This failure and the lack of valuing my assistant prosecutors spoke volumes to Jason, Mary, and my entire staff. Mary is now gone. Jason will depart on May 18th, and sadly, as I've continued to advise, I expect there will be more. It is a continuing crisis created by the national shortage in attorneys and the failure of this board and this administrator to act. This is not fear-mongering, it is reality. Thank you.
Hey, sir, can we say where Mary Foster went?
I think she'd like to keep that confidential.
Okay. All right, Madam Clerk.
I'm debating whether or not to say anything. I've worked for this county for 23 years, and I've sat through a lot. And the past 3 or 4 meetings, I have never seen the disrespect. It is hard to sit up here. There are many sides to every story, but for people to speak up and yell at each other and talk down to each other, we are better than this. And it's very disappointing. And as soon as I start speaking, somebody says something negative under their breath, and that is extremely disappointing, extremely.
The treasurer. All right. Drain Commissioner.
No report.
Judge Beeler.
No report.
Sheriff.
As all of you know, we had a critical incident yesterday, and I just wanted to reach out to everybody who reached out to us to check on my staff and check on us as a sheriff's office to make sure we were good. I appreciate that. Also appreciate the citizens of Cass County who stepped up and made that phone call to our 911 center when they actually saw someone that met the description, which ultimately led us in the direction to encounter and stop the threat prior to anyone becoming injured in this county and in this community. So thank you to the public for that. The other thing I'd like to address is I've been part-time and full-time in this county for 39 years, and I have never heard or seen anything like just happened. That was so disrespectful. She's considered your employee, you're considered her boss. I would never, ever treat my employee in that way. This lady has stepped up. She has done multiple jobs for this county, and she has done a good job at it. So to sit here and listen to what I just listened to is being a bully and wrong in every way. I'm very disappointed.
Thank you, sir. Unfinished business. Number 1, M65 2026, motion to approve budget adjustment for Sheriff Justice Training Fund.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Could we have a recess, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
10 minutes. right, where'd Roseanne go? There she is. We can start late, but never early. All right, I'm gonna bring us back from recess. We're in new business. Number 1, M65 2026. It's a motion to approve budget adjustment for Sheriff Justice Training Fund.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the budget adjustment for the Sheriff Justice Training Fund.
I so move.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, M66 2026.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the budget adjustment for emergency management.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 3, M67 2026. Motion to approve police contract between Howard Township and the Cass County Sheriff's Office, including corresponding budget adjustments to record revenue and expenditures.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make that motion M67-2026.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's my district. Number 4, M68 2026. Motion to approve the IT virtualized environment upgrades not to exceed $300,000 from the Public Improvement Fund.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make that motion M69-2026.
M68.
Excuse me, thank you, 68-2026.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Discussion? IT is worth more than anything I can imagine. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. How many attacks do we get a day? Like 1,000? Yeah, we get a lot of attacks a day. Anyway, M69 2026, motion to approve the final quotes for the carpet replacement project at the Law and Courts facility to be funded from the Public Improvement Fund.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the final quotes for the carpet replacement project at the Law and Courts facility. To be-
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? M70 2026, motion to approve EPA Brownfield Grant Budget.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to move we approve M70-2026.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. M71 2026, motion to approve 2026 remuneration,
Remonumentation.
Yeah, that word, grant contracts.
Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am and sir.
I move to approve the 2026 remonumentation grant contracts.
Remonumentation grant contracts. Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Number 8, M72 2026. It's a motion to renegotiate contract terms with Market One.
Hi, guys. I'll make this quick. So just to be clear, I'm here as the chair of the EDC, not my day job. The EDC fully understands that the contract decisions ultimately lie with the Board of Commissioners, but as the board working directly with Market One, the EDC wanted to provide a recommendation on the existing contract. I included a letter in the packet, but wanted to provide a brief overview of that letter in case you didn't get a chance to read it. As Dan mentioned, the current agreement expires September 30th. Notice regarding the renewal of the existing contract must be provided by June 1st of this year. So we have just a few weeks. As written, the proposed renewal totals approximately $373,000 over 3 years, so we took our recommendation very seriously. Before making the recommendation, the EDC conducted a thorough review of the proposed Market One contract renewal. That review included presentations from Market One, which you saw earlier, evaluation of alternative economic development models, analysis of past performance, and extensive board discussion. We acknowledged a positive return on investment tied to grant activity supported by Market One and recognized improved responsiveness from support staff in recent months. We did talk about some areas of concern. Those were communication and financial transparency. There were some concerns regarding whether Market One's priorities aligned with Cass County's. We talked about how the EDC can do a better job of communicating our needs and interests to Market One so that it was a two-way street there. And then right now, the only evaluations of Market One come when it's time for contract renewal, so every 3 years. That leaves a lot of time between evaluations for feedback, so we wanted to address that. So there are many factors at play here. For a long time, the EDC was stagnant, and I believe that we have built a team of individuals who are very dedicated to growing Cass County in a number of ways. They want to roll their sleeves up and do some work. So our goal is to build collaboration with whoever we partner with for economic development and ensure that what's being done reflects the interests of Cass County. We want to drive the bus. So with these factors considered, the EDC unanimously agreed to not recommend renewing the contract as written. However, that recommendation does not necessarily mean the EDC is opposed to future partnership opportunities with Market One. We are open to future collaboration under revised terms and conditions, which include quarterly performance reporting to the EDC and Board of Commissioners, scored evaluations every 6 months, reduced termination notice period from 120 days to 90 days, and shorten the contract term from 3 years to 2 years. Again, we're open to considering a new contract, but recommend amending the current contract to address our concerns, building opportunities for formal check-ins with the county and Market One, and limit contract length. Ultimately, this is your decision. As written in the motion, I think it's to renegotiate, but you all can take that direction, whichever you please. You do have one more meeting before the vote needs to take place, though. So, thanks.
All right. Thank you, Ambrosia. So do we have a motion, or are we going to table this for the next meeting, or what are we doing here?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I move to renegotiate contract terms with Market One.
Support.
All right, thank you. Motion on the floor and support. I'm sure there's going to be much discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I feel responsible because I'm the person that brought Market One to Cass County a number of years ago. As all of you know, I serve on the Connexus board, and at that time, the chair of the board also served, and he was very interested in having Connexus do some work with economic development. Well, he left, and at the next Connexus meeting, Todd Gustafson said that he needed to talk to me, and he had important information for me. And he said, nobody's doing your economic development, right? And at that time, that was true, because we had, over the course of a number of years, 3 people part-time who did economic development for us. I could name each one of them if you'd like, but I'm not going to do that right now. I can at a later date. And I wouldn't throw any one of those people under the bus, because they all had some strengths, although we only had them like 1 day a week. They did attend the EDC meetings, and the last one, as well as the EDC, was very helpful with a tremendous project called Imagine Cass. So he told me that he said, Todd said, okay, how about if Connexus throws in $50,000 and the county throws in $25,000, and we'll do your economic development for you. So I took that back to our administrator, and he said, you go back and tell him he's got a deal. So that was how we got Market. It was at the time called Market Van Buren. And it wasn't too long after that COVID hit. So the very first experience that I had with Market Van Buren was during COVID. Zach Morris called me, and he said, the state's got $45,000 that they're going to donate to Cass County, and I need to find some businesses to take the money. So I got on the phone, I did all kinds of things. And Marcellus got money, Dowagiac got money, Cassopolis got money, Edwardsburg got money. And to this day, there's 2 businesses that got money. Both of those businesses, one of them told me that she wouldn't be in business if it hadn't been for that money. So that was my first initial meeting with them. The next time I saw them was when Zach and Mark O'Reilly, and you don't know who Mark O'Reilly is, but anyway, they came to Mason Township, and they wanted a tax abatement for a company called Days Limited, which bought an old factory in Mason Township, and they turned it into, it is now called EQ United, and all of us, or most of us, went to their grand opening a number of years ago. And so, you know me, I'm always prepared. So here's some other things that they've done. Hedro, Smart Park, CHT expansion, Modern Buggy, well, EQ United. Through them, we got an internet mapping grant, and we had a company map the entire county, and we got that grant because of Market One. CDBG grant for Village of Edwardsburg. Actually, 11 communities have received grants. The Village of Cassopolis got a huge grant for housing. There are a number of things in the pipeline. And that's the thing about economic development. You start at one end, and sometimes it takes you 2, maybe even 3 years to come full circle and get everything. Now, I've heard people say, well, we can hire our own economic developer. Well, yeah, I guess we could. It would take us a while to find one because I see our judge back there that has taken her over a year to find an attorney. So imagine how long it would take us to find somebody to take over our economic development. And I'm going to assume it would cost us somewhere in the same neighborhood that right now Market One costs us. But Market One, we're getting 6 people. 6 people. And we could, if we were to hire somebody, we'd have to pay insurance, health insurance and pension, and we'd have to find an office and get Jody do up as all of his IT. So right now, we got a good thing going, and without Market One, and it'll take us a while if we were to hire somebody. Without Market One, we don't have anything. We have nothing. We have nobody doing economic development. We did have 3 people. Each one did, I won't, like I said, won't throw them under the bus, but a huge difference came to Cass County once we got first Market Van Buren and then Market One. Some of these requests, I'm okay with. What am I okay with? Oh, I'm great with quarterly performance reporting, comprehensive scored evaluation of the partnership every 6 months. Well, I guess that's okay. Reduction of the termination notice period from 120 days to 90. I'm fine with that. 3 years to 2 years. You know, I mean, if that's the only way we're going to get this passed, yes, okay, I'll go to 2 years, but I understand about 3 years because having been part of this for such a long time, I know how long it takes. But that's what I have to say, and you guys know I've been here a while, and...
Just a minute.
What?
Just a minute, that's all you've been here.
So I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Marchetti. That was very informative. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to do is the Market One pass, put it in the minutes, what they passed out,
Yeah.
everything they've done for us.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to have that in the minutes. Also, I can tell you I've been on the board before in Roseanne's right, EDC that we had with a body head that met, but we really did not bring anybody into, you know, the market force. These guys have stepped up. They're rock stars as far as I'm concerned. Everything they've done. If you really read that packet, you'll see what they've done. And $5.53 versus $1 that we're spending, you know, is well money spent. the companies they're helping and bringing along. And read the letters in the back from these companies on this packet. That's all I would say. And I agree, maybe communications was a little weak. I agree with that. But the only concern I have with that, the guy that is sitting on EDC board was the director of Market One. So if there was an issue with communication, that should have been addressed at their boards. Now we want to put it in contracts and stuff like that. I think you go with the 3-year. I'm okay with the 90-day release. That gives us an out if something happens and we fall apart. But I believe we've got a contract with the 3 years that you signed. I still think we honor that 3 years.
So 2 or 3 years, we still have the out to where if we decide that, if say we voted in and, 6 months from now, whoops, we can still eliminate it, right? That's the 90 days or the 120 days.
Yep.
All right. Yes, sir. Oh, turn your mic on.
We're going to vote on renegotiating, or are we going to vote on a contract renewal right now? I'm a little mixed up.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that we change the, instead of motion to renegotiate, is to motion to non-renew the contract, so that at a later time we can, renegotiate it. Because there's some other stuff I would like to have added to that than what was mentioned.
So what are you exactly saying? Because you have to be a little bit more clear than that. To table it for the
Table
next
it,
meeting?
or we could vote to say, what I would like to have done is to make motion to non-renew the contract. Just flat out, non-renew it.
Mm-hmm.
And as the original letter says, then at a future date, we can renegotiate a contract.
I'll ask my parliamentarian, what do you think the best thing to do there?
So options are, you can move to lay the motion on the table, which then the intent is that it would be brought up at the next meeting and then passed or failed at that point.
Right.
You can amend the motion by removing renegotiate and inserting. You could move to amend it by removing it, renegotiate and inserting terminate. I would question the amendments if it's, because you can't use an amendment to completely change a motion, and that would completely change the motion.
Right, because
Okay,
if we,
motion to table it until the next meeting.
because there might be some other implications not to renew, and that starts a whole nother ball rolling. So I don't think that's the wise thing to do. So tabling it, I think, would be the wise thing to do for you, if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
So.
Do you care if I speak quickly?
Go ahead.
So my thought process are, for one, calling that facility a factory was nice. What EQ took over was a rundown SCUR. They did a phenomenal job redoing that facility. The EQ does a beautiful job maintaining it. They keep it clean. It looks great. I would encourage that we go ahead with the renegotiations, because it's not an agreement that we're going to take, that we're going to sign it. This is just, we're going to go into renegotiations. We're going to renegotiate it. We're not agreeing that we're going to take it. So like terminating and then discussing it. I would say we renegotiate, because you don't have to accept the renegotiations. You could still then fail the renegotiations.
Well, even renegotiation, you can redo the amount of money too that's spent to them.
Within renegotiations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then our next meeting is when we pass it.
Right.
Or fail
Because
it.
we don't know how it's going to end up yet with they might be in charge of the whole home performance.
Well, no, the whole home performance, and Jennifer, please, if I'm misspeaking, the whole home performance is a separate, different.
I know it is.
It's separate. It
But
has
it's gonna
nothing
take-
to do with this contract. Am I right? I'm right. It has nothing to do with the contract.
No,
It has nothing to do with them doing economic development for us.
Very quickly, before it continues, the three of us are now out of debate, just so you know. We've debated twice.
Yeah, we're breaking some rules. So what are you doing? Are you going to make a motion, or are we going to go into?
Can I say anything?
Yeah.
So You can
Yeah,
lay
yeah.
it on the table if you want.
Yeah.
Just to table it then.
Yes.
You can make a motion to lay it on the table.
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to lay it on the table until our next meeting.
And then it needs a second.
All right. Motion on the floor in support for tabling it to the next meeting. We'll do a roll call for easier to.
Commissioner Northrup? Yes. Commissioner Grice?
No.
Commissioner Lee?
No.
Commissioner Marquetti?
No.
Commissioner Langley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Nope.
Commissioner Barrera?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 no and 3 yes.
All right. Whoops.
It now just goes back to
So now we go back to the original discussion. So now at this point, we're not saying yes or no to Market One. We're just going to go into renegotiations. We have from the EDC their recommendations. You can email the administrator your additions and anybody else's additions or deletions. And then at that point, I think she'll compile it and it'll bring it to our next meeting for us to vote yes or no.
Okay.
That sound good to everybody? All right. Yeah, so do we need a roll call vote for that one, or are we good to go at this point?
Mr. Chair, I need some clarification.
Yes, yeah,
we're,
turn your mic on, Roseanne.
oh, I thought I did. We're voting on a motion to renegotiate contract terms with Market One.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we already
Thank
had the motion and the support. Now, we're good, unless anybody has anything else. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Number 9, FOIA appeal.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that the Board of Commissioners deny the FOIA appeal for continuation and uphold the FOIA coordinator's decision for the reasons stated in the proposed appeal response letter.
Support.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion?
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
it is my understanding that this is just that it was re-brought back up and is being honored. This is just kind of a formality.
Yes. That is my understanding also. All right. Anything else? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 10, FOIA deposit notice appeal.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that the Board of Commissioners deny the FOIA deposit appeal for the reduction and/or waiver of fees and uphold the deposit notice as it is written for the reasons stated in the proposed appeal response letter.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Put your button. What's your question?
Sure, I need a little bit of
Yeah.
clarity on this.
Yeah, what's your question?
So we're going to deny, is this, as far as the money that we were going to charge for this? So the way I read it, there's going to be 20 hours of work involved in this?
Yes.
Because of the
That's what's
keywords.
being estimated right
Yeah.
now. There's several keywords and different people, and I know that they pulled just one keyword, and it resulted in thousands of results. And I know Grant is in there, and I would be one too, and being the previous finance director, it's gonna pull a lot, and then you've gotta sift through and see which ones relate to that. So I think that's why that timing is coming so large. But
they
again,
want all
it's
that information?
just an estimate, and like I said, one keyword for one person was thousands of results.
Okay,
Just to kind of see what we might be looking at pulling, but the best you can do is estimate on this.
So
I get it.
the best thing to do is to change the keywords to bring them hours down.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, number 11, resolution to approve the deficit elimination plan for the Historical Commission Fund and authorize submission to the Michigan Department of Treasury.
Mr. Chair, I will make that motion.
Second.
Oh, it's a resolution.
Resolution, yes,
I
ma'am.
I move to approve the resolution.
All right. Motion on the floor and support. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to make you guys have already done this once. The state was a little particular about
Yep.
adding a few extra little things in there, so I added something in the middle. Most of the language is still the same. Just trying to get the state of Michigan to pass that. It was very minimal, so I don't expect that there'll be any more issues with this and that it will get cleared out through this year.
The state did that to me last week and sent me back what they wanted to be changed in the document that I wrote. I'm like, why didn't you just change it and accept it? So I get it. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera?
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup? Yes. Commissioner Grice? Yes. Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
And Commissioner Langley.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 12, resolution to approve 911 Central Dispatch millage renewal ballot language.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move the resolution to approve 911 Central Dispatch millage renewal ballot language.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Another roll call, please.
Commissioner Barrera?
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Langley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
And Chair Jones.
Yep. All right. Q, public comment, limit to 3 minutes per person. It's going to be hard for me to time you, Jody, but I've got to stick to my rules.
I know, and
All
I
right.
understand, so if you cut me off, it's okay. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the board for the approval of the infrastructure upgrade. It is important to everyone who works here at the county, those things that we're putting in place and that we maintain. I would also like to acknowledge the exceptional work of those that make up the Information Technology Department. In today's environment, technology is no longer just a support function. It is essential infrastructure for every service that we provide across the board. Our IT team has continued to deliver dependable operations, strengthen cybersecurity, support employees and the public, and help modernize our systems with professionalism and integrity. And what makes this team especially valuable is not only their technical expertise, but also their responsiveness, collaboration, and commitment to public service. Many of their successes are invisible when everything works correctly, but their impact is felt organization-wide every single day. So I'm proud of the work that we do and fortunate to have a highly capable and dedicated IT staff. I would like to thank Michael, James, John, Adam, and Garrett sincerely for their commitment to our organization and keeping things running smoothly for all of our people. And I'd also like to honestly thank Jennifer as well for her support in all that we do. I know that Jennifer and I, like in the past, we've had, you know, like all humans do, like some disagreements or things that happen, but we work through them. I've gotten to know her as she's become the administrator because now she's my boss. And I'm so incredibly grateful for her and what she has brought to the county. So I appreciate that. We are unique in IT because we work with every single person that works here. I feel it's very important to build relationships with all of those people, and I think we've done a great job in doing that. Including the prosecutor's office, because, you know, Victor, too, we've worked on big projects together with OnBase and Carpel. There's a lot of talk about a lot of things, but there's always a middle ground somewhere, right? And I always say there's 3 sides to every story, yours, mine, and the truth. So on that note, I just want to thank you guys again, and I'd like to thank everybody that I work with. I can consider everyone here at the county a part of my team, so thank you.
Well, I want to thank your IT team as well.
Thank you.
They've helped me tremendously through a few things, so.
Awesome. That's what we're here for, and we do a lot, but primarily we want to provide that service and help as much as we can. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. Melissa McKay again. I'm here tonight because transparency in Cass County is becoming increasingly difficult for ordinary residents to access. This is not about whether people support development, growth, or revitalization. Most people do. The issue is whether taxpayers are being given a fair opportunity to understand how public decisions involving public money are being made. Over the last several months, I have submitted multiple FOIA requests seeking records tied to property transactions, valuations, funding sources, and communications involving matters that directly impact the public. What I've encountered instead has been repeated delays, excessive fees, procedural obstacles, and now no responses and shifting classifications of requests into appeals. At some point, residents have to ask, why is it this difficult to access public records? One request alone came with a fee estimate requiring a large deposit before processing would even begin. The justification for those charges lacked meaningful detail. Another request involved extending timelines stretching months into the future. Transparency delayed is transparency denied. And this matters because these are not small issues. These involve public property, public funds, grant money, and decisions that affect taxpayers across this county. Residents should not have to hire attorneys, threaten litigation, or spend thousands of dollars just to understand what their government is doing. I also want to make something very clear. Requesting records is not an attack on the county. Asking questions is not being anti-growth. And seeking accountability is not negativity. In fact, transparency protects everyone, residents, elected officials, staff, and the integrity of public institutions themselves. If decisions were made properly, then the record should support those decisions clearly and openly. But when the public encounters barriers at every step, high fees, delays, procedural confusion, and silence, it damages trust. And once public trust is damaged, it is very difficult to rebuild. I am asking this board to seriously examine how FOIA requests are being handled in Cass County and whether the process is truly serving the public in the way the law intended. Because government records belong to the public, and transparency should never depend on how much money someone has to spend, how persistent they can be, or whether they are willing to take legal action. And for the record, when Prosecutor Fitz begins acting like a minister of justice, we'll start paying his staff like a minister of justice. Justice for Vandalia.
Anybody else?
Is this on already?
Yep, the red light means it's
yes,
on.
Thank you. Jason Ronning, Chief Assistant Prosecutor. Spent the last couple of days, weeks, and month and a half kind of deciding how I was going to handle this final address, because I did want to address the board one last time. And I think from somebody who's effectively an outsider, you need to understand that what's happening tonight is not a one-off. This is not a sudden thing. This is a buildup of pressure that has been building for a very long period of time till it's finally in the eyes of the public. So if people are just going to write it off as a whatever, a tantrum or anything like that, please take a look at the mirror. Get your house in order, because you will not be able to fill the spots in the prosecutor's office or the judge's office who needs an attorney until the house is in order. And just like the clerk had indicated when she had begun speaking that she knows people were muttering under their breath, I assume it's happening right now, and I get it because we know it happens. But it is clear to anybody who pays attention that personal grievances are dictating county policy. This board is in charge, and that's the way it should be. So please, moving forward, get your house in order, because you have lost the last chief assistant prosecutor. You know, my leaving is one thing. Mary Foster leaving is an entirely different thing. She is not replaceable. That kind of experience and quality, you're just not going to get. Now, the prosecutor's office, as of next week, is going to be down 33%. And as Prosecutor Fitz indicated earlier, it's not over. It's not over. Get your house in order, please. This has been a terrific place to work. The people I've dealt with have been amazing. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We saw just yesterday how law enforcement did an incredible job on an incredible situation. It deserves recognition. There can be real good done here, but until you stop with the personal issues and realize that they are issues and people are noticing, it is never going to change. You're going to be down 33%, 50%, and then you're going to be down even more, and you are not going to like what happens. So please, I wish you all the best. I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Come on, man. You don't have to wait till he sits down.
Last Monday, I decided I was going to come up and say some things, and then since then I decided I wasn't, and then I came in tonight, and I really think I can share some things that will help everybody here. Just to give you an update, I have met with Jeremiah Jones and Sam Barrera and Prosecutor Fitz and Jennifer Renfro. It's just this last Monday. And I've learned a lot. You know, I became a precinct delegate in Howard Township just so I could be a peacemaker. And Jennifer indicated to me that I had offended some people when in my first statement to this board. And it had to do with how I characterized the main purpose of government is to maintain law and order and to enforce, basically law and order. Now, I didn't get that from myself. I got it from Tom Jefferson and some of his guys he hung around with. And I happen to agree with him. And I think the logic is sound. On the other hand, I am very open to being wrong on how I might have brought that forth. Maybe I can tweak that a little bit. But the basics were true. So I came away from my meeting with Jennifer very disturbed. I tried to be a peacemaker, and wow, all of a sudden there's no peace. I think we can all agree that we occasionally have felt hate. To use that word, it's a pretty strong word.
Mm-hmm.
I have to fight road rage every once in a while. And just between you and me, all of us, God deals with me on that. Back off. You're wrong to be that way. So I think everybody here in a right atmosphere could admit having made mistakes. And you know what? I look around this room, I look at Sam, I look at the thing on his shirt, and I go, you got something on your shirt there, Sam. Now, I'm a Notre Dame fan, too. Also Michigan. But we have a lot in common. And when I asked Jennifer what she used to determine what was right and wrong, we are exactly on the same page. And I'll bet, judging from Sam's prayer, you can't pray like that without being sincere. You got to know God to pray like that. And I'll bet a lot of people here are on the exact same page.
Larry, I'm going to hold you right there. You're at your 3-minute mark. I'm going to ask the board if they want to allow you to keep on going because your 3 minutes are up. So does anybody have any issue with him going on? Nope. Keep going, man.
Thank you, because I think you'll appreciate it when I get done, at least I hope.
Yeah.
We have a lot in common. And I think we can get through this, even through the hard stuff, if we keep a few things in mind. I was kind of hurt coming away from my meeting with Jennifer because how in the world did I offend anybody? And I went back and listened. I'm sure glad you guys record this because I went back and listened to every word I said. And I think maybe I could have tweaked that a little bit. I'm looking at it. I'm open to being wrong. I'm still working on it. Okay. I think we can all think about this one here, Matthew 18. You're probably all familiar with it. If any of you have aught against your brother, go to him and him alone. And if he hears you, you've gained your brother. If he doesn't hear you, then take 2 or 3 more. And if he doesn't hear you, take it to a larger group, in that case, the church. But the point here is, if I've offended somebody, I would appreciate you coming to me first. Maybe we can work it out. I'm open to being wrong. So my point here is just to say we've all got a lot in common, more in common than not. And I think we can work this through to win-win. There's been good points today, good points, and some truth. And I'm just asking you to take that framework that we already have in common and put it to good use. And to ask for forgiveness and to ask for understanding. Let's think about ideas here. The idea came forth that we have a problem with the prosecutors not being respected. Jennifer had some good points I received as well. But I really think we can all get together and fix this if we are open to being wrong and employ some of these things that we already have in common, like I just mentioned. Thank you.
All right.
Stacy Wilder. This is my first time ever coming to a commissioners meeting. I must say my stomach's been sick. I know most of you in different avenues or in different places. Last time I was in this room, it was at a Christmas party. Different thoughts. My first thought came to my mind is, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Politics is a very brutal thing. I wouldn't want to do anything that you guys do. But be a pastor. You're loved one minute and hated the next. I would just caution you to have thick skins. And remember, I think you all want the same things. Might go about it differently. But we want safe homes. You have to see each other in community. You have to see each other on the soccer fields. You have to see each other in the school buildings or in church buildings. And I would just caution you as you get passionate to be careful. You say, who are you? Who are you? I just came to watch. And I saw a lot of things here tonight. And I would just encourage you, let everyone be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? All right. Oh, yep. Y'all know I'm quick on the draw. You got to hurry up.
Sorry, I'm just going to sneak up here real quick.
You're all good.
Katie Moltoff, Market One, your local economic development manager. And I just want to share just a quick little snapshot of what I do in my business retention, expansion, and attraction world. And we could not do this work without you. So kind of bringing it back to about everyone just wanting the same thing. We all want Cass County to be a place where people want to work, live, play, most importantly, stay. So we are right aligned with that mission with you guys. So again, we could not do this work without you, so appreciate you guys. And again, I'm grateful to share a little bit of the snapshot of my BREA world, as I like to say, as if we need any more acronyms. I'm honored to serve Cass County. There's so much momentum going on. When I joined this organization 3 years ago, there was no pipeline of projects. And now we have, actually, I know that we have the projects pipelines provided, but that's even changed since then because there's a few more added. So there's a lot of momentum going. As you know, economic development takes time. So I want to encourage you when you guys are looking at the contract to think in those economic development lenses that these projects do take time. It starts with a conversation. It starts with dialogue to understand what our businesses and communities need to be able to serve them appropriately. At its core, economic development is about people. It's about the employers and businesses who choose to invest here, the families who rely on those jobs, and the communities that grow stronger when businesses succeed. My role as the Business Retention, Expansion, and Attraction Manager is to make sure our businesses feel supported, our communities remain competitive, and new opportunities are continually being cultivated.
On the business retention expansion side, much of the value comes from being present, proactive, and responsive. I spent the last 3 years meeting with business leaders, listening to their challenges, and helping connect them with their proper resources, whether it's Going Pro Talent Fund for workforce solutions, infrastructure support with the PA 198, financing programs through CapEx improvement grants, or state and regional partners such as the MEDC. These conversations often uncover issues before they become a problem, allowing us to protect the jobs here in Cass County, stabilize operations, and in many cases, position companies for expansions rather than an exit. And because of this approach, September 2025, I had a business here in Cass County reach out to me and say, Katie, we're ready to go. Retention may not always make headlines, but it is one of the most powerful economic development tools we have, because keeping and strengthening our businesses already here protects our tax base, like we talked about earlier, and our workforce, and of course, Cass County's identity.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to hold you there. Does anybody have any issue with her continuing? You're at your 3-minute mark.
I have 2 more paragraphs.
Go ahead.
Okay. On the attraction side, the value lies in building site readiness and relationships. It's never about a single phone call or a meeting. It's the result of long-term groundwork, like the My Sites program we're currently working with the MEC Smart Park. I also met with the city of Dowagiac, and we are planning on submitting them next round because they will have more capacity then. It's also about marketing, collaboration through RFI submissions, and trust. Most importantly, trust. Through this work, we've helped generate new project activities, bring companies to the table, and support investment that results in new jobs, new capital investment, and again, an increased tax base. And we are on the brink of an attraction announcement. Praise the Lord. I feel like I've been saying that for a minute, but we're almost there. Okay. Lastly, what ties all this together is partnership. Again, we cannot do this work without you guys. None of this work happens in isolation. Success is built collaboration through you guys, local units of government, our utility partners like as MEC, workforce agencies, state partners, community leaders, I can go on and on. It doesn't happen in isolation. My role is often to serve as the connector, aligning the right people, programs, and solutions at the right time, kind of like our logo, our cogs, right? The true value of this work isn't just measured in projects announced or dollars invested. It's seen in businesses that stay, grow, and choose to reinvest. It's reflected in jobs that remain in our communities, families that stay rooted here, and confidence from the private sector that Cass County is a place where businesses succeed and feel supported. I'm proud of the progress we're making in Cass County. The pipeline shows it, and we have stuff moving and grooving. I'm even more excited about what's ahead. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and we are building momentum, strengthening relationships, and creating a foundation for sustainability. Thank you for your continued support. I look forward to 2 more weeks. We'll see you again. And please let us know if we can make anything more transparent for you or how we can communicate better. We are more than willing to meet you halfway in compromise. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Anybody else? Don't have to wait for her to sit down to get up. All right, no more public comment, no closed session. District 1.
Yes. How many minutes do I have?
You've got as much as you need.
Thanks, sir.
2 minutes.
Off,
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Are you saying denied?
No, I'm just playing.
First off, I just want the board to know and people out there know, I am not against Market One. I just want you to know that. I don't like the contract that we have right now. So I'd like to have that renegotiated big time. Because without, like say, Market One, who else would you have? Not like Roseanne said, there's not a lot of people out there. So I'm just kind of anxious to see about what this new contract may look like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wrote this back a month ago. So some of it may not apply, but I just figured instead of doing my chicken scratching, I'm just going to read the whole thing. And I would like to take a few minutes and discuss the prosecutor's office. I'm not happy at losing Jason. I'm not happy that we might lose Ken Stecker. I've lost count on how many times that Commissioners Lawrence and I have met with Vic and Mary. And we agree that we must do what we can to keep our county safe, and that includes keeping our prosecutors. Also, we must remember that we were elected by the residents of Cass County, and I take that responsibility very seriously. When a new person is hired, we welcome them with open arms and wish them a long and successful career at Cass County. There are those that say we must abide by the class comp study because we pay someone $60,000 to look up what each class should be paid. I don't agree with that method. I don't like it, but that's neither here nor there. I believe that the same could be accomplished by each department head and the Human Resource Department to find out from other counties what they are paid. I know there are some department heads that do that already. They call other counties, find out what their people are being paid. Other counties will call maybe different department heads here. What are you guys being paid? So that can be handled, I think, very easily there. After class comp study was approved, Commissioner Lawrence and I went and visited as many department heads as we could. What we found out was none of them thought that the study was fair. I believe that raises should be based on merit and experience. This brings back to the prosecutor's office. I was told that there are those in that office who have been there longer than both Jason and Ken and are paid less. My answer to that is you must look at the experience that they bring to the office. Jason has 19 years of experience, and as I understand it, one of the best prosecutors in the nation. And Ken with 35 years experience and the best drug prosecutor in the state of Michigan. If it would have been up to me, they would have started at the top end of the pay scale when they were hired. And that goes for anybody in the county that would be hired with that kind of experience and that amount of years. How do we make this happen? I believe that the Board of Commissioners have the authority and the power to make this happen. Some may say that this isn't the policy to do this, but I say is sometimes you have to put policy aside and let common sense step in. Also in recent days, I have received phone calls from residents in my district. They want to know what we as commissioners are doing to keep them safe. They are telling me that if we lose prosecutors, then the criminals will be let free as we have no one to prosecute them. They are attending the meetings and they're also watching online. I'm letting them know that I am and will continue to support the prosecutor's office along with the sheriff's office. And one last bit of information I would like to address. This is, don't get mad at me, Vic, but I'm going to mention your name here. That the prosecutor mentioned a law enforcement millage. He quoted, I believe it was from Lapeer County. And as I know, Cass County does not have a law enforcement millage. It is a CDET millage, which is for the Cass County Drug Enforcement Team, which is how ADA Ken Stecker is paid. I don't know if the prosecutor would like to have this put on the ballot that we can vote on to have a law enforcement millage or not. That some could still go to the sheriff's department, some could go to the prosecutor's office, and they can deal with it however they would like to. Each department is important. If you didn't have a great clerk register in Monica and her staff, how many properties could be stolen from you without you even knowing about it? The treasurer's office and Hope staff, how many homes would be foreclosed on, let alone the whole home program? The veterans office, how many vets would receive the benefits they are entitled to? The IT department, without Jody and her staff, what would happen to the county IT system? I will say something about Jody. I am very technologically impaired. I have a problem, I take my phone, Jody, fix it. And she'll take it and get my phone taken care of for me. I don't know anything about these things. The Sheriff's Department, without Sheriff Clint Roach and his perseverance to hire the right men and women to keep our county safe. In the administration office, Jen is doing a phenomenal job as our administrator. She, along with her staff, as well as all other department heads, care very deeply for Cass County and want to make it safe and a great place for families to raise their children and to bring in new businesses. I hope we can all work through this and heal what needs to be healed and head in the right direction. As Pastor Stacy mentioned, this past December, we had a Christmas party in this chamber. Everyone was getting along just fine. I can't tell you how many came up to me and said how much of a success it was, and they really enjoyed talking to people they normally don't talk to. So please put the past differences you have with other departments behind you and strive to get along and make Cass County a county we can all be proud of. Thank you.
All right, District 2,
Nothing at this time.
3, 4, that's me, 5.
Yes. I wasn't going to say anything, but tonight, I feel now I have to. Absolutely right, there's a black eye here. How rude and unprofessional somebody in this chamber treated people. And my concern with that is we tacked the administrator's doing everything we've asked her to do. She's done everything, she enforces our policies. We cannot be attacking her because somebody doesn't agree to it. Remember, there's two sides to every story, and there's been many, many, many hours met to try to resolve this issue the correct way, the way the board demands it, the way the county policy, not for some cheap headline in a newspaper. And I apologize to you, Jennifer, for this. This should not have happened here in this chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. District 6.
Yeah, I also want to address those comments. I feel comfortable saying that that does not reflect the position of the majority of this board. I fully support our administrator, and I want to be clear that the tone and substance of those comments were very inappropriate. I apologize for that outburst and stand with you, Administrator Renfro. Let me also be clear on governance. The administrator works for the board as a whole, not any one individual commissioner. Direction and authority come from the board collectively. That distinction matters, and we need to uphold it. As a reminder, our votes are part of the public record. We should not revisit decisions in a way that contradicts positions previously supported. Consistency and accountability matter. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. District 7.
Nothing.
District 8.
Nothing at this time.
All right, and I saved myself for last. I'm not jumping on any bandwagon or anything, but I read the newspaper article, but I'm going to read the last one. I didn't see any hate in there, and like Pastor said and the other guy said, hate's a really, really, really strong word, and if we're quoting the Bible, that means you have murder in your heart, and I don't think that's going on here. That's pretty strong word. But the last part of that I invite everybody to read that newspaper article, I agree with. We are committed, and this is what our administrator said, we are committed to supporting our employees while also ensuring responsible stewardship of our tax dollars. That is our first or second, that's up for argument, biggest role that we have. So one goes with the other. Anybody got anything else? If not, we are adjourned. Woo.